Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Today I wanted to talk about 5 frequently asked questions that I get. So, number 1, where do I make my money outside of Medium? So, I have a day job, for those of you who don't know. I'm in between jobs at the moment, but I'm starting my new day job in a few weeks. So the vast majority of my income doesn't come from Medium. I make around $1,000 or more every month on Medium, but that's nowhere near enough to sustain myself, my partner, or my loving cats that I need to provide a good life for. So yeah, a good chunk of my money comes from Medium, but not the majority. Outside of Medium and outside of my day job, I get around $66 per month from my Patreon. Thank you so much to my Patreon fans. I love you all so much. Patreon, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I love you anyway. I also submit about 1 or 2 stories per month to Pop Sugar. They pay $50 an article, flat fee, guaranteed if it gets accepted. And I find their articles are easy to write, they're really straightforward, they have great publishing guidelines. So I recommend you check them out. If you apply to their Voices program, you can try to get in there as well. I really recommend it. So that's where I make my money. My job, my Patreon, and writing articles for Pop Sugar. Question number 2, which stories tend to be the most successful? This is a bit of a cop-out answer, but I find that my older articles tend to be more successful than my newer articles. I don't know why that is. It might be that a few months ago, Medium was curating people like me a bit more heavily, it was promoting stories from people like me, and now they seem to be putting a lot of their distribution power behind their publications, their big publications. So I find that stuff I published in October to December of last year tends to do the best, even now. But apart from that, I find that new topic stories tend to do really well in terms of money. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because they're less saturated, so the fans there clap for fewer stories, and that means that their engagement is kind of worth more. I don't know if it's because if newer fans, Medium's algorithm changes their value more somehow. I don't know. But I found one story I got distributed in gaming, one that got distributed in programming. Those stories earned me a lot per fan, a lot more than other stories. And thirdly maybe, stories that get published by the big Medium publications. So I got a story published by Human Parts, I got one published by Forge, and those have done really well. They're in the thousands of views, they've earned me $200 each. That's just the flat fee that Medium's publications guarantee, if not more. So those 3 places, old stories, unfortunately, stories in newer topics that I haven't written in before, and stories that were published in Medium's big own in-house publications. Question 3, how often do I fail? A lot. I fail a lot. I want to be 100% open and candid with you guys, and whether the category is am I still growing as an author? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Do I submit stuff that gets rejected? All the time. Do I get stories that aren't curated? A lot. Maybe not as often as others, but I do get uncurated stories. So whatever your metric is, I fail at writing a lot. And it's hard, honestly. I can't help but compare myself to successful authors, people who have been real life published who have books, and I feel lesser. I feel I'm not as good. If this is you and you're wondering how can I be more like Zuli? Listen, I fail, and I bet the people that I look up to fail on the regular as well, and they look at their own heroes and they're like, oh, why can't I be more like them? It's a never-ending cycle, and the only way that you and I can both get out of it is to stop comparing ourselves and focus on what we can do. So, as an example, I have submitted to Medium's in-house pubs. Let's look right now and see. I'm loading up my spreadsheet. I share this with my $1 patrons, so if you want to consider being a patron for $1 a month, you get access to all the places I submit and fail to get into, or the ones that I do get into sometimes. Okay, so let's see, looks like 20 times, and I've been accepted twice. 10% acceptance rate. Amazing. So, yeah, don't feel bad. It's not just you, it's everyone. We're all failing out here, but we're in good company. I'm with you, you're with me, and you know what? We're going to keep trying, and we are going to get there one day. All right, question 4. What do I like most about writing on Medium? The easy, obvious answer is money. I love money. I love getting paid to write stories. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That's one of my primary motivations for writing here. But secondly, I love reading. I find that writing on Medium has given me such a thirst for and an appreciation for stories that are well written, that are cohesive, that tell an emotional story, that take me on a journey. I get these stories on Medium and I don't get them anywhere else, and that to me is one of the biggest things I've gained from being a writer on Medium. Is I have such a discerning taste for what's good, and I get to read so much good stuff nowadays. I used to not read any nonfiction, like at all. I only read fiction. So starting to write on Medium, starting to develop my own nonfiction writing wings, and kind of going into that world and getting to see nonfiction writing, reading essays, thought pieces, think pieces, I don't know what they're called, whatever, articles like that, really opened doors for me and kind of broadened my horizons in a way I hadn't anticipated. And that's what I love most about writing on Medium, apart from the money, which I still love. So last question was a bit of a more personal one, and it was, what do I enjoy reading most on Medium? Cop-out answer again. I love things that surprise me. So I'm trying to think of a good example. I never used to enjoy reading satire, but then I came across Jane Austen's Wastebasket. It's a publication on Medium. I'll include the link somewhere. I don't really know how to put images in here, but anyway, when I started reading her pieces, the pieces in that publication, I found myself like laughing aloud. So I've never laughed. I tend to prefer really heavy fantasy. I like science fiction. I did not think I liked satire about life, feminism, work. I thought it was just not my speed, and I was surprised, really pleasantly surprised, to find out that I loved it, and it was hilarious, and it was really fun to read. So that's one of my go-to publications when I'm looking for something light, something fun, something that's going to make me enjoy myself. And that's what I think Medium is so good for, like showing you things that you never would have found on your own, but making these personalized recommendations that's like, they can change your life without exaggeration. Get out. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. I've really enjoyed talking to you all. And yeah, I'll see you all next Sunday.